Hello and welcome to NARC Live Mini on April the 14th, 2021. Coming to you live from Norfolk on the east coast of England with Tammy M0TC.
Hello.
And me, David G0KYA. Good to see you. On tonight's show, could you run an International Marconi Day station from your shack? More threepenny bit tails, or should that be heads? And we find out who works from a shack like this. And we've had quite a few entries this week, not all right either. So, do you know, if you haven't already entered by email, then there's a quick chance to put it either onto BATC or onto Facebook. And enter it, but before we read them out in about 10 minutes' time. But we start by remembering His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, who was the patron of the Radio Society of Great Britain from 1952 to 2021, and a supporter of this hobby as he was of many other interests through his Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme for young people. These are some pictures from the RSGB archives. And now some club news. And a reminder that this is a mini version of NARC Live, after which follows our 2021 online AGM. As always, NARC Live welcomes all viewers, but we ask that only paid members of NARC join our AGM afterwards. So if you're watching this on BATC or GoToMeeting, then you can stay here as the AGM will start straight after NARC Live with just a short break. But Facebook Live will stop when NARC Live ends. If you want to join BATC or GoToMeeting, then joining details were sent to all members of NARC who subscribed to the newsletter last Friday, so have a look at that. Now, last Wednesday, our guest was Tim K3LR, who gave us a brief talk on earthing and bonding. And Victor G3JNB wrote and shared this RSGB document on earthing from his friend Ken GM4JMU, who thought we'd find this supplementary information to the talk very useful. It's quite a complex link to this booklet, so instead of putting it on the screen, we're going to put it into the newsletter, or if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, if you drop us an email to radio@dcpmicro.com, then I'll be happy to link you to it. But it's quite a useful document. Now, also to let you know, it just missed our email before we started the programme last week, that Paul Gunther, G4XBT SO1NX, he sent us a message just to say, to ask us to let you know that everybody who knows him is that he is in hospital. He just had his full day of chemotherapy for throat cancer, but he'll still be on NARC Live, he says. I hope you're watching tonight, Paul. And he says, I should make 100% recovery after chemo and radiotherapy have finished. So we wish you well, Paul. And one of those cards is on the way to you, of course, as well. Hope you receive it soon. Now, a few weeks ago, we had some threepenny bit tails. If we could show these pictures, please, Tammy. If you might remember, Paul G3VPT sent this in. And at the time, I thought he knew what this was, and it was just a guessing game for us to find out. But he didn't know either. But we have had quite a bit of correspondence on that and associated subjects. This is the biggest clue, and so hopefully, Paul, this is going to answer exactly what these coins are for. Richard G0KYA said, my dad had one of these hollowed out coins. The recess in the back would hold the old sixpenny piece. Do you remember what that is, Tammy?
No.
I didn't think you would. As a young child, I was amazed that he would put the two coins in a matchbox, shake it, and the sixpenny coin would disappear after sliding under the threepenny piece. Well, I bet that took a bit of practice, like most magic. But anyway, so that's what Richard says. So, Paul, I hope you're watching, and that provides a clue as to what it's all about. Well, also on a similar subject, Stuart G0KYA wrote as well and said, in relation to the comments relating to coins in the last but one NARC Live, this is the legal position. Considering banknotes first, it's not illegal to deliberately destroy a banknote. However, under the Currency and Banknotes Act 1928, it is an offence to deface a banknote by printing, stamping or writing on it. The Coinage Act 1971, Section 10, makes it an offence to destroy a metal coin that has been current in the UK since 1969, unless a licence to do so has been granted by the Treasury. What is the punishment to the crime, he says? Destroying crown coinage or for fun or profit without permission from the Treasury is still illegal as it was in the Middle Ages, although the penalties are not quite as severe as being hung, drawn and quartered. What is hung, drawn and quartered? It's the convicted traitor was fastened to a hurdle or wooden panel and drawn by horse to the place of execution, where he or she was then hanged almost to the point of death, disemboweled, beheaded and quartered, chopped up to 4 pieces.
Nice.
Right, I'm glad you know that now. That's what hung, drawn and quartered meant. That's fascinating, actually. Anyway, the maximum fine today is £400 on conviction. So you said you experimented.
So I didn't actually say that I'd sawn a pound coin or anything.
No, you didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't do that. The hollow threepence piece reminded me that he has this is Stuart still, aluminium threepence dated 1943, considered to be one of aircraft quality aluminium. It was supposedly cast in an American airfield foundry during World War II during one of the ground crew's quieter moments. He says he needs to find it. So thanks for that information, Stuart. And finally, at least for now, on this subject of coins, John 2E0TWQ said, I know that you were showing your coins on NARC Live the other week, and then you had the threepenny dud coin that Paul sent you. So a picture also talked about coin rings. I bought the one on the screen now about 2 years ago. It's his birth year, 1950, and it's a half-crown piece. He remembers them well. 8 of them to the £1 when they were still currency, he says. It cost him on eBay a current £10, and the guy made it fit his finger. There's another use for it. Now, the guy who did that, though, what I want to know is, would he have to pay a fine?
Technically, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, wasn't it?
Oh, it's 1969, you're right.
1960.
Yes, so that's why it's okay to do it. So if you were born before 1969 and you want one of those rings, you can have it. That rules you out at least, Tammy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for all of you for writing that. It really does make the programme when you let us know things like this. It's a bit of interest. Thank you for joining us on that. So, now, Tammy, I was going to say small people to you, little people, as I always say every week. But before that, I think we've got something else, a large person.
We have got a very large person, this week. So this is rather large. So this is John, M6JAU. I don't have the words to go with this because I haven't looked at the script. So I hope you know what the words
I haven't. There's not many words for it, really. But John sent us this because if you look at it, to get an idea of scale, if you look right down low... There's
a child in the bottom.
Exactly. And there's a bike there. That is big. I don't know if it's near where you are, John, but anyway.
It's Laxfield, I think.
Oh, Laxfield. That's Suffolk, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it was something to do with Laxfield. There was an explanation on the thing, but I thought you'd put it in your script.
I thought you'd put it... Because it's little people.
Okay.
But it's a big person. Never mind.
Never mind.
We've had quite a lot to do today.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's provided entertainment anyway for everybody at home.
Okay, so to the little people then this week.
Your little people.
The little people this week. It is a piano.
Oh.
You like that?
Well, I can see a printed circuit board with resistors and chips. But yes, that's good, isn't it?
It's a piano.
And that's the gold-plated edge connector on a circuit board, isn't it? And I can't read the part numbers of the chips.
No, because they're blurred out. So
I'm not as sad as I was last time. Right? No. That's really good, Tammy. Thank you very much. By the way, I was going to say to you, what have you been doing? But we haven't said hello to everybody at home watching it. So can we just quickly... is that possible for you to do that?
Yep.
Or am I just going to catch you out?
Okay.
We had a few little things to solve a few minutes before we came on air. But let's have a look and see. There we go. Is everybody at home? Hello, everybody! Brilliant. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be seeing you later on, of course, as well. And I guess a lot of you are there for the AGM, which follows after NARC Live tonight. So thanks for joining us. So anyway, what have you been doing? You got any more stories on coins or anything like that? As always, please let us know. Just drop us a line to this usual email address, radio@dcpmicro.com. That's the best way to get in touch with us. I know some of you reply to the newsletter and things, and although I write a chunk of the newsletter, I don't write it all, and replies to that go to the sort of webmaster, so eventually it might find its way to us. But if you want to get in touch with us about the programme, especially if it's at the last minute on a Wednesday afternoon before 3, that's the best email address to use. Let us know what you're up to. So, every week, this time, you know what I'm going to say? That shack that we've been posing with, I had 2 more sent me this week, so it's going to go on a little bit longer.
Okay.
But as I keep saying recently, and I mean it, I've said it, I think since Christmas, we're running out of shacks. If you've been waiting to put your shack on, as 2 people did this week, send us your picture very soon, because once we finish, we've got to come up with a new competition. Anyway, let's have a look at last week's shack. Who works from a shack like this?
Okay, we have had one extra guest online,
Good.
and it's Mark, G0LGJ, thinks that it's Peter M0RYB shack.
Okay.
All right.
Right, yeah, that's great. Anybody else on any of the other channels?
No, that's it.
No, okay.
So,
well, let's tell you who the guesses have been. We've got John 2E0DWQ says, I believe this could be Ray G3XLG shack.
Tony M0TDK, I suspect that the shack belongs to Ray G3XLG.
Paul G4ZBH says, is the shack Mal's G3PDH?
Tony G0KYA, my guess is Ray G3XLG.
And Sunny M0SYW says, is it Ray G3XLG?
I didn't see the clue you put on the
the clue.
the newsletter this week.
Yeah, the clue was maybe that shiny paddle produces a ray of sunshine for this amateur. If you look right in the middle at the bottom, there's a lovely paddle key there.
Okay.
That was my clue. Anyway, too late to answer it now because this is whose shack it was.
It was Ray G3XLG.
So 4 out of 5 got it right. Well
Yep.
done to you. Hard luck if you got it wrong, but thank you very much for entering. This week's shack is one, it's my kind of shack really. So let's have a look. Who do you think works from a shack like this? It's a bit of an upright picture, so we'll put it a little bit differently so you can see a bit more detail. As always, we'll be putting this on our website and on the newsletter so you can have a really close-up zoom in and look at that. There's quite a few clues there. Why would I say that this is my kind of shack, I wonder? And it's not mine, by the way. It's definitely not my shack.
Well, there's radios in it, so that puts that out.
Well, thanks. Come on, I don't need you heckling me as well. But there's some TVs there. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
There's some televisions there. So that's a clue. Let us know who shack you think that is by 3 o'clock at the very latest next Wednesday on that email address, radio@dcpmicro.com. Have a guess if you don't know. I've given you a clue. There's several televisions in that picture. That's got to be a clue. All right. Now, for details of what's happening on NARC or on the radio in the next few days. Now, this Sunday, the 18th of April, Simon, by the way, M0SIH sent us this. And I hope we're not going to be lynched when we show the picture. But anyway, this Sunday, the 18th of April, is World Amateur Radio Day, WARD. And this year marks the 96th anniversary of the International Amateur Radio Union, or IARU, which was founded at the 1925 International Radio Telegraph Conference in Paris. The IARU has chosen Amateur Radio, Home But Never Alone, as the theme for World Amateur Radio Day 2021. The theme acknowledges that during our physical distancing to reduce the spread of COVID-19, amateur radio stands out as a welcome respite for its variety of activities and opportunities. On World Amateur Radio Day, all radio amateurs are invited to take to the airwaves to share global goodwill with other amateurs. And there's not me, so no complaints from Roger, Jim and all that sort of thing. We did not really write stamp out CW, bring back the spark gap. That's even pre-Morse. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sending us that, Simon. So don't forget, this Sunday, 18th of April, it's World Amateur Radio Day. Also Sunday at at 7 o'clock on on GB3NB. It's Mike will be reading the news on the GB2RS news broadcast. On Monday, the 19th of April, Steve G0KYA is going to be hosting the Norfolk Amateur Radio Club net at 7:30 on GB3NB. And this Monday, he'll be discussing events in history that we'd like to have been present at. So looking back at history, where would you have liked to have been when something happened? Everybody's welcome, of course, to that. At 8:30, there's the 80-metre CW net. And on Wednesday, the 21st of April, a week from now, it's Ham Pie Radio. Now, as you can see from the call sign, this gentleman, Mike, is based in New Zealand. But he's developed his own radio kit. It's perfect for people who like the idea of making their own radio, but don't know how. Michael ZL3AX, also J87AB and G0GPX, incidentally, has designed a radio kit of circuit boards, which on the front page of his website compares to the IC7300 for performance. He does a live comparison there, receive, on both his radio and also the IC7300, which is a very popular radio. Looking forward to finding out more from the man himself next Wednesday. It's a kit of parts. So if you fancy making something or you're interested to see what goes into something, and there's quite a lot of circuit boards, this will be one to watch. That's happening next Wednesday night on NARC Live. And as always, as I say at this time, please keep in touch with us. Let us know what you're doing. It makes up the programme at the beginning. It's great to keep in touch and find out. And also, of course, our card, which for the first time,
You've lost.
We've got so much stuff here because we're doing kind of two programmes. I haven't got the card. I don't believe it. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to have to imagine you know what the card looks like now anyway. Yeah, we'll hold up this imaginary card. We will send a Norfolk Amateur Radio Club greeting card to anybody you feel will be cheered up, whose birthday, celebrating something, just needs that little bit of a pick-up. We'll be very happy to send it. Just drop us a line with their name and address and the reason why the card. Will add your name to ours and send it to them. Drop us a line to this address, radio@dcpmicro.com. We'll have to find it for next time, won't we? It's been a bit of a mad week, but anyway, doing several programs and things like that from here. So, thanks very much for that. Now, we are at that point where we have what we call our main event. And this is a mini NARC Live, as I've said before. But tonight we thought we would talk about International Marconi Day, because although most events, at the moment at least, have stopped, there is a way that you can get involved with International Marconi Day in a very special way. And joining us now to tell us more about it is the man who normally organises this for us. It's Steve G0KYA. So hello, Steve.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks
good.
very
Just
much.
make sure the audio was working.
Yes, it is. No, we had a little bit of a thing anyway. It's because basically we might as well tell everybody, because you're interested in the technology probably that makes up these programs. We worked out tonight for the first time we're streaming in 4 places, because we're streaming to you on a one-to-one connection. We've also got our go-to meeting happening. We're streaming out to Facebook and we're streaming out to the BATC. So we're very grateful that our internet's holding up, but we had quite a few little bit of last minute.
That's not working.
Well, that's all right. No, that isn't Steve, is it? Never mind. We had quite a few things to work out how, in fact, we were going to get Steve on the screen. But don't worry about it. The cameras are going mad, and so am I. Anyway, Steve, let's get back to what we're going to talk about. International Marconi Day. It's Saturday, the 24th of April. How can people get involved?
Well, basically, there's 2 ways they can get involved. The first is that they can take part in International Marconi Day to win an award. Basically, the event has been running since 1988, and stations are set up all around the world at places that are important to Marconi's history, such as Paul Dew in Cornwall, Villa Grifoni in Italy, and loads and loads and loads all over the place. And you can go, if you Google GB4IMD, it will take you to the website and you can find out all about it. So the first thing you can do is take part, log or work the IMD stations, and if you can get 15 or more, you can get a lovely certificate. So this is the certificate, and I'll just hold it up there. There we go. It's actually made from a share certificate from Marconi's times in the early 1900s.
That's
so fantastic. That's really good. So you can get that, or We always run a station called GB0CMS, which is Cambridge, what I'm talking about, Caister Marconi station. We always go to Caister Lifeboat and run that. Last year, IMD didn't take part because of COVID. This year, it is taking part, but because of all the restrictions, we couldn't go to Caister this year. So I said to the organisers, well, how about making it so that members can work from home? Anyway, they thought about it and thought, well, that's a really good idea. So we've set it up this year so that you can operate your station from home, GB0CMS, running the call sign GB0CMS, to take part. So we've got a roster running on the internet. The link is from the story on the NARC website that tells you all about it. And on there, you can sign up for an hour to work GB0CMS. It doesn't have to be CW, can be SSB, can be FT8 if you want, can be RITI if you really want. But in that hour, you can work whatever bands you want from 160 meters to 10 meters to take part. The only problem is, there's a couple of problems. One is that it's only open to full radio amateurs, that is, people with advanced licenses, not foundation or intermediate. That's an Ofcom rule, I'm afraid. That's nothing to do with us. It's Ofcom who've set that one up for us. And secondly, all I need from you at the end of the day is your logbook that you worked as well, because I hold all the logs here for the last 11 years so that we can QSL. So all I need is the ADF file sent to me, and that's all there is to it. So all you have to do is go along to this Google document and sign up for the hour you'd like. And I just checked before we came on air, and there's 9 hours left between... where are we? From 0100 hours to 0700 hours. Then we've got 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock till 2, and 4 till 5, still free. So you can go along, pick one of the slots, put your name, your call sign. We have to have your address. So just put QTHR if it's the usual address that's known to RSGB and Ofcom, and away you go. So that's it. So either you can take part to win the award, or you can do both actually, or you can join us with GB0CMS to work it for other stations. So it's a little bit like working well, it is a special event station, but it's a little bit like working a contest in a way, because people will really, really want to contact you to get their award. So expect to be fast and furious, and expect loads and loads of people calling you. And once you get spotted on the cluster, that's it. It just goes mad. But you've got hour-long slots to choose from. And some of our members have taken up more than a 1 hour slot, but they said they're quite happy to reduce that down to 2 or 1 hour if other people want to use them. So, we can be a bit flexible on that.
Lovely. So we've got between 1 and 7, I think you said, and some other times as well, Steve? Yeah, well, the times are in UTC. So 1 till 7 is actually 0200 to 0800. Then we've got 9 till 10 UTC, so that's 10 till 11. 2 till 3 British summertime, and then 5 till 6. So who wants the 5 till 6 one? That's probably the the most convenient one of the lot, I should think. Yeah, that does. But they're there, so you can. I would get in there quickly though, because they'll go quite quickly now, I think. Yeah, and this is really quite a unique opportunity, isn't it? Because one of the things about that normally the rules about a special event is that it has to be an event that's open to the public. So this really, it may not sound much of a concession, but actually it does break that golden rule, really, of being a special event. So if you've ever fancied doing something like this, this is probably a pretty unique opportunity, and all you've got to do is work, say, for an hour or so. Yeah, I mean, I rang somebody up at Ofcom and said, look, this is what I want to do. Is it okay? And they sort of came back a little bit blank and said, oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to have a look. So they looked at the rules and regulations and said, well, given the circumstances, it'll be fine. But the only thing was that we can only have one station on at a time. We can't have two. We normally have two stations at Caister Lifeboat. And we have to have a note of where this station's active in terms of their location. So it's everything. If everything goes to plan and everything goes okay, everything should be great. But this is a first for us, and I think it's a bit of a first for Ofcom as well, in a way. Now, Steve, you said it's a first for us, but I guess that lots of other groups, and although you asked Ofcom yourself, I guess that the rules apply to lots of other groups as well. So there won't just be our radio station on the air; there'll be others as well. Well, the Cornish Radio Amateurs Club organised IMD, and I've had extensive email exchanges with them, and they eventually said, yes, okay, it's fine. But they haven't made that official, so I've been waiting for the official announcement.
to see whether other stations will do the same. I think some of the stations will be operating from where they say they're operating from. Say Paul G Cornwall, they might be at the Bolger Amateur Radio Centre, but we'll have to see. Some will be working from home, but they haven't officially said yes, this is okay. But they said it to me, so that's why we're going ahead with it.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, so it's a great opportunity, and we're going to put it is already on our website now. So if you want to know more, you can go to www.norfolkamateurradio.org and have a look on there. There is an article about this on there, and you can follow the link and actually book your slot in there. But remember, unfortunately, you do have to be a full license holder to do this, and it's not as Steve said, that's not our rules, but Ofcom's really. But it sounds like a really good opportunity. Steve, thank you very much for coming to talk to us about this tonight.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay then.
And
Bye-bye.
that's it from Steve for the moment, and that's almost it for the end of this mini NARC Live. As I said before, and if you have only just recently joined us though, we will be going in shortly. There'll be a little break, and then we'll be going to the Norfolk Amateur Radio Club online AGM, the first time we've done that. And we would ask that to be just NARC members only, please. But we know that lots of other people watch this, and so we wanted to put something on for you as well. And we hope you've had fun tonight and that you'll join us next week. Just to let you know what's happening on the Norfolk Amateur Radio Club again, a reminder, on Sunday, the 18th of April, it's that World Amateur Radio Day. Excuse me. It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock on GB3MB. It's the GB2RS News. On Monday night, it's the Monday Night Net at 7:30 on GB3MB. At 8:30, it's the 80-metre CW Net. And next Wednesday, here on NARC Live, on the 21st of April, Ham Pie Radio. You can find out how you can make your own radio. We find the fascinating story, which Michael ZL3AX will tell us, how he's developed this complete radio system. And you just buy the circuit boards, buy all the parts, fit them yourself and everything. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Plus all the other regular things, your news, don't forget to keep us having that as well. And if you have got one of those shacks, let us have it very, very soon, please, as well. But that's almost it, folks. So if you have just joined us for NARC Live and you're not a NARC member, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week for NARC Live Mini. And so from...
Maxi next week.
Oh, yes, that's right. NARC Live Maxi.
NARC Live Normal.
NARC Live Normal next week for that talk on that radio, but that will be wonderful. But for joining us tonight, thank you very much indeed. And so it's good night to you at home from Tammy M0TC.
Goodbye.
And from me, David G0KYA. Don't forget, if you're a member of NARC and you're on BATC or go to me, just hang on there and we'll be with you very shortly. But from us, it's good night.